Look at you. You look all professional, and I'm sitting here in a
I'm dressed
sweatshirt.
in Technorama colors,
I
huh?
know. Yeah. Well, yeah, you are.
I have my white watch band on instead of my purple one.
Oh, uh, we'll
I'll
cancel the broadcast then.
I'm gonna talk about this in our Patreon show, why I dressed up this way for church this morning.
Okay.
Okay, we have watch live video showed up on here, and I can share. Yay!
Actually, if you share it ahead of time, it's already there. That you share the.
Oh, you can share the I'm going to this crazy thing?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
should be.
no, it says I'm commenting as Technorama, even though
Yeah, it says live now. Just click on it and.
hold on, I'm logged in as me. Why am I share public there? Wow, Facebook, you just get more and more original. Okay. We good. All right. Nobody joining us yet, but that's okay. We're still in the pre-show prep.
Yeah.
Aren't you gonna say good news, everyone?
I think I'm missing something on my pass me the remote. What did I watch?
Did you ask our question of the week to Chat GPT?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yep. I'm looking at Google thinks it has a grammar error. What is that?
Facilitating and wants to
Wait,
say.
yeah, but how would that read? I would introduce the concept of communication and language as a means of establishing a common understanding and facilitate further exchange of information. Yeah, I guess facilitating could work there.
I think either one works. That's fine.
Yeah, nobody said Chat GPT had good grammar either.
Have you played with it?
I have not.
I've gone in and messed with a couple things. You know, nothing crazy.
Seen lots of people that have messed with it. You know,
yeah, I just watched
"Hmm."
Dr. Mike on YouTube, and he posed some medical questions to it, and it's crazy. It's pretty close. It was pretty accurate. Of course, every medical question said, you know, it would encourage you to follow up with a real doctor. You
Kill
know,
all the humans.
Yeah.
That's what the robots are going to do to us.
Yeah.
Right, we do have a viewer.
Hey,
Clinton is on.
I asked it the current question of the week, excuse me, and the one at the bottom.
Clinton, would you like to join us for this show? Random last minute thought.
He's probably sitting on his couch.
I'm concerned about the people who think it is intelligent, not a predictive text model. Yeah, right. The people that think there's actually some understanding behind what it's doing. It's not.
Well, what was that? I asked it something about.
All right, I'm going to send him the link.
Oh, was it about depression? And it said if you need help, it changed at the end. I was like, wow, that's pretty good. It encouraged you to seek out, somebody to talk to, and something like that. I forget it was. Anyway, but I just thought it was kind of cool that they would add that in there to make sure that this is not official advice.
All right, sir. The link has been sent to your email. And I think just for funsies, I'm going to send it to your Facebook chat too. I don't know which will get there quicker.
Amy Bowen. Did you see? I don't know if you saw my reply. She says it's been about a month now. She started her new Facebook account because something happened to her old one.
Yeah.
And she says, I'm realizing almost all the people who are friends with me on this new account, either writing about, she said she needed to reach out to some other people to bring them in. And I said, I think I see what Amy is saying is she's already tired of us, is looking for new friends.
That's not very nice.
No. Well, I put a little, wink. I was being funny. Anyway,
there we go. There he is.
Hey, whoa.
Hey, hey.
Hey, back and forth. Hey, what the hey?
Shortest show ever. Whoop, whoop.
That's right. Didn't we just do this?
Certainly feels like it because my desk was set up exactly like I left it.
Right. How you doing, Clinton?
All right. Just muting the other one so I don't hear myself hearing myself.
Oh yeah.
So let's send him the show notes as well. So add people, comedy forecast. You can be an editor. Show notes. There you go. So you can follow along with the bouncing ball.
Great. We have one viewer, and you just brought him into the show.
Yeah.
Now we have two. We have two. Who
I
else
see we
is
got
out
two.
there?
Oh,
See if they want to be on the
aw.
show.
And we're back on one.
Alrighty.
Everyone who attends the show tonight live gets on the show.
Oh boy.
Now I get to judge your show notes.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
It doesn't say Chuck talks here, Clinton talks here. Don't judge. This format has worked well for well over a decade.
I'm not judging. Out loud.
Out loud.
As one of my former bosses would say when somebody got to a meeting a couple minutes late. Sorry, I'm late. He goes, noted and judged.
Mm,
Wow.
Yikes.
harsh.
Don't show up to Jonathan's meetings late. All right. Shall we begin?
Yep.
Craig, get ready with that title to go away.
I've already got it up. I'm ready to turn it.
Recorder. Clinton, did you put in a headline? There's a new feature you can put in a subtitle for yourself.
Oh, goodness. I don't know. I just don't know about
Click the
that.
3 dots down on the little thumbnails. Edit name and headline. Or you don't have to do anything creative.
Yeah, I'll skip it for now. I'll
All
find
right.
myself upside down or something for all I know.
Yeah, like that Zoom call we did for Dragon Con. Is this thing on?
There you go.
Homeless street.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks so much. Hey, get off my internet, you
That's right.
whippersnappers.
All right, here we go. In 3, just starting the audio recording in case somebody's watching along at home.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Technorama episode 701. Oh man, I got to rewire the brain. Where words and strategy meet. It's like when you turn over that calendar page to the new year and you still keep writing the old year.
Yes.
We've been
Welcome to
saying-
2022. Wait, what?
And then you keep wondering yourself, why am I still writing checks? You know.
That's, yeah. Yeah. What year is this? 1962?
Welcome to Technorama. This is the podcast that takes a lighthearted look at tech, science, sci-fi, and a whole bunch of geeky things. My name is Chuck Tomasi. Joining me right there is Craig Stepp. How are you,
Hey,
Craig?
what's going on?
And down here is Clinton Alvord from Comedy Forecast.
Hello, everybody.
If this lineup looks familiar, you may have seen the topic as Trek. Both people who recognize that reference.
That's right.
That's
Yeah.
our other podcast where the three of us get together.
Yeah. At least 2 people saw that video, I think.
We've done 131 shows and, yep, 2 viewers.
Mm.
Doing all right.
Yeah.
And we'll keep doing it, doggone it. But that's a plug for the other show. Clinton, how have you been since Thursday night?
Since Thursday I talked to you last.
Yeah.
Very good, very good. I just was out on a little mini hike with Bonnie and our son Nathan. We went to hike some trails this afternoon. It was a very nice, enjoyable day. Got some fresh
Wait,
air.
did it warm up from sub-freezing 0 below?
Yeah. I was gonna say.
Yeah, it was mighty cold. Matter of fact, I was gonna go out and do what I call a writing marathon on Saturday, but the cold weather had other plans because I went out to the car and the car went no,
No.
no,
No.
exactly. I think the forecast. I didn't check specifically, but it was like with the wind chill, it was like minus 20 degrees.
Mhm.
Yikes. So
You
did
could
it
work
crank
on that-
today?
You could work on that weather station on the mountain in New Hampshire. That was
Yes, yeah,
That was-
Mount
was like-
Washington.
minus 107 before the wind chill. Like,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, not
Hey.
the kind of job I want.
You can go outside and try to do the boiling water trick, and you'll go away too.
Yeah,
So-
you throw it in the air, and out comes this block of ice. Boom,
Yeah,
lands
You
on the
try to
ground.
throw it out, and the entire thing is already frozen.
Where's Clinton? You're just frozen in.
He's a
right.
statue.
Well, I'm glad you were able to get outside and things are turning a little bit warmer. This is when people go, ooh, 10 degrees Fahrenheit feels nice now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
People are shedding layers. It's 12.
I'm gonna go for a skinny dip. No, I don't think so.
Well, let's get into our feedback then. We do have some listener feedback from last week's question.
Letters. Oh, we get letters. We get your letters every day.
Oh boy.
Mailman, mailman, mail today. Reach right in and pull one out. Those letters. I love those letters. Let's find out what you got to say.
Oh boy.
Mailman, mail today.
All right,
Right.
in the mailbag, we have our question from last week, which was, if aliens make themselves known to us, which I think they may have already done, what is the first thing you introduce to them? I don't think we got an answer out of Clinton.
Okay. And don't say your podcast.
Okay, that's be the second thing then.
Mac and cheese, then the podcast.
Yeah. I guess chocolate, because I want to see if what they think of chocolate.
Well, it's toxic to some animals. You don't give it to your dogs and cats. So, hey, it's one way to get rid of the aliens.
That's right.
Yeah. You give them some chocolate, they die immediately, and you start a war.
There you go. Well, I guess that didn't work out so well.
Yeah. Take it back.
Blame it on the M&Ms.
That's right.
It sounds like a Star Trek plot line.
Right. Steve London said, cats, meet our feline leader.
And the cats go, meh.
That's right. Yeah. They just walk off.
Stephen Weshy says Independence Day, so they know not to mess with humanity,
That's right.
especially Will Smith.
Yeah.
Just ask Chris Rock.
Yeah. Whoa.
Oh,
Whoa, man.
great.
Went
Ooh.
there already, huh? Gee.
Save that one for the closer. That was a year ago already.
Wow. Yeah, you're right. Yep. Weber Baker said tacos. I agree with that one.
But only on Tuesday.
Only on
It's
Tuesday.
doable.
Yeah, have to have Tuesday tacos. That's right.
Lone Guy's Nice says the Great Egress. Oh, I haven't heard of that yet. We're gonna have
This
to
way to
follow
the egress.
Aren't those the white birds that are in the marshlands of Florida?
Egrets?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
Let's see who else shared. I shared, but nobody responded. Oh
No,
wait,
that's not true.
That's
Gary
true. I
Lindros
got
said.
three.
Gary Lindros said our national park system.
Okay.
I'm
you
down
got
with
a
that.
couple of likes off of that one.
See
Yeah.
if they can predict when Old Faithful's gonna finally just like boom.
Yeah. Look in this hole.
Oh, it gets them every time, those aliens.
I like a good steamed facial.
Let's see.
Trampus Whiteman says KC style barbecue. Again with the food.
That's right. You
It's
gotta
not made in New York City. New York City.
Yeah. It brings people together, right?
You got one
Sean,
more?
yeah, Sean Brockman said our dire need for a better stewardship of our planet. Okay, I'm not sure how to introduce that. Music of all kinds, starting with the oldest known variety. Oldest known variety, like sticks and rocks, or
So what's that joke about the aliens that finally come across the Voyager spacecraft because it's got the record, the gold record with
Yeah,
all
right,
the information about
right.
Earth, and the aliens send back a message saying, "Send more Chuck Berry." It's okay.
That's right. That's
We're
right.
ready for your greatest hits volume 2.
Yeah.
All right,
Hey,
well that was fun.
Wait a minute. I did ask. Actually, no, wait, we're not done yet. So there
Not
was
done
two.
yet.
There's
But
two.
wait, there's more.
There's two bits of feedback in the show notes. One from Mad Marv.
Yes, there is. I
He
was
says,
getting there.
he says, if aliens showed up, I would show them the War of the Worlds. Again, so, we're not to be trifled with. The audio drama, okay, not the movie. I'd pitch it to them saying how this story always leads to mass hysteria whenever it's broadcast. Even decades after it was revealed to be a hoax. Even when the story was translated to other languages. And even when somebody says it could happen again in this day and age.
No, it couldn't happen again in
I'm
this
sorry,
day.
couldn't. Yeah, it couldn't happen. I bet them that it would work at their home world. Just a little bit of localization.
I see. Giving them their own practical joke to play
Yeah.
on their
Yeah. Yeah,
The
here.
Earthlings are coming. The Earthlings are coming. Oh,
That's right.
all we gotta do is sneeze on them.
I'd run too if I heard the Earthlings were coming. So
Plus,
you know,
if
don't
you
blame
gave them the War of the Worlds ahead of time, then they know to get their shots. They get
that's right.
vaccinated
You
before they
don't.
got there.
They'll come
We'll
with
introduce-
masks and so
And
forth.
you're right, all masked up. I've heard of this planet.
Yeah, we
They're
introduced them
crazy.
to COVID-19. I did ask Chat GPT this
Oh
question.
boy.
It says, as a language and model AI, I don't have personal experiences or emotions, but if I were to introduce something to aliens, I would introduce the concept of communication and language as a means of establishing a common understanding and facilitate further exchange of information.
Well, that just sounds really boring. That sounds like it's all peaceful and stuff.
That sounds very Vulcan.
Yeah.
No
what was
emotions.
Arrival. That was the movie that they were trying to they're doing. That's exactly what they did, was they were trying to understand their communication so we could talk with them.
That's a foregone conclusion. I mean, what would you introduce them to? First, you'd have to have a way of communicating to introduce them to what you really wanted to show them, Chuck Berry.
Yes. You play the world's longest game of charades. Okay, that's a spaceship or a dog or a woo-zoom-boo, as we say on our planet. You know.
Well, Zephram Cochrane did introduce the Vulcans to Ooby Dooby.
And they were so happy.
But I can see it's going to be like on Futurama, where they came from Omicron Persei 8 to come back to Earth to find out what happened to the female lawyer.
Ally McBeal.
Yes.
Send us more of the lawyer with the short skirt.
We want more Chuck Berry.
All right, well, that was fun, was it not?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, then we will move on to the history segment. Oh, we better roll. We have 3 people.
Oh man, wait, dice.
He's got to go get his D20.
It's right here. Oh.
You couldn't type into your browser roll D20.
No, that's no fun. I bought these for a reason.
I would have done better with real dice.
Wait, let me pull up
I
Chat GPT.
My digital D20 let me down, but I'm sticking by the roll.
All right, here we go. Oh man, I'm returning this dice. I got a 6.
Twice my roll.
All right.
Clinton, did you roll?
Doing it right now.
Just type
I
into
got
Google, roll
a-
D20.
I got a 10.
You get a 10. Okay, you get to go first. It's going to go
Woohoo!
Clinton, Craig, and I got to confess, I lined up the birthdays so that I would get the hard names, but that was when it was planned for 2, so anything can happen here.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
great. Yeah.
This is going to be so
I knew
fun.
you did this on
Hilarity will
purpose.
ensue.
No, I said I took the hard names for the birthdays.
Oh, I got you.
Let's go. On this day in history for February 8th, 2023, this is the 39th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar. There are 326 days remaining in 2023.
It was on this date in 1817 that Las Heras completed his crossing of the Andes with an army to join San Martin and liberate Chile from Spain.
And,
Good for them.
Yeah, good for them. Delaware refused to ratify the 13th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. Slavery was outlawed in the United States, including Delaware, when the amendment was ratified by the requisite number of states on December 6, 1865. Delaware ratified the 13th Amendment on February 12, 1901, which was the 92nd anniversary of the birth of Abraham Lincoln on this date in 1865.
So it was it was passed in 1865, but they only ratified it 36 years later.
Yeah. Oh,
A little late to the party.
the paper fell under somebody's desk. Oh, look what's
It
in
was-
there.
It was a confidential document at President Lincoln's home. They had to go get it.
Right. Yeah.
To the crate.
It was beside his Corvette.
We gotta dig up his grave. It was on this date in 1879 that Sanford Fleming first posted adoption of Universal Standard Time at a meeting of the Royal Canadian Institute.
Very nice. It was 108 years ago today that D.W. Griffith's controversial film, The Birth of a Nation, premiered in Los Angeles, and we'll not talk about that anymore.
What a flick.
Yeah. On February 8th, 1922, United States President Warren G. Harding introduced the first radio set in the White House. Okay.
77 years ago today, the first portion of the Revised Standard Version of the Bible, the first serious challenge to the popularity of the authorized King James Version, was published. Lettest thou known that thine Bible be published. Much better.
Forsooth. February 8th, 1960, Queen Elizabeth II of the United Kingdom, as opposed to the other Queen Elizabeth II's, issued an order in council stating that she and her family would be known as the House of Windsor, and that her descendants will take the name Mountbatten Windsor.
How many times do we have to batten them down?
Once the hatches.
On February 8th, I'm going to move along, get away from
Please
those.
do. Please do.
February 8th, 1960, the Hollywood Walk of Fame was established with Joanne Woodward's first star.
She was the very first star. It wasn't much of a walk of fame. It was only one star.
It's a short walk.
It's kind of like a power walk. You just go,
Yeah.
52 years ago today, the NASDAQ stock market index opened for the first time.
Well, that same date in 1974, after 84 days in space, the crew of Skylab 4, the last crew to visit American space station Skylab, returned to Earth. And shortly thereafter, somewhere in Australia, so did Skylab.
Crash. Soda can hitting a globe. Saturday Night Live. Go look it up.
Yeah, right. 40 years ago, the Melbourne dust storm hit Australia's second largest city, the result of the worst drought on record and a day of severe weather conditions. A 320 meters deep dust cloud, that's 1,050 feet for us Americans, envelops the city, turning day into night.
Around here, we call it a haboob, just because we like to say that word.
Yeah.
General Motors sued NBC after Dateline NBC allegedly rigged 2 crashes intended to demonstrate that some GM pickups can easily catch fire if hit in certain places. NBC settles the lawsuit the next day on this date in 1993.
And it's Clinton.
Yes, happy birthday goes out on this date too. Greek astronomer, mathematician, and astrologer, probably in 170.
Wait, he died at 175 or died in year 175?
Yeah, I think it's year 175.
Okay.
Vedius Valens, born on this date in 120.
He was a
Wow.
descendant of Richie Valens.
That's right. Yeah. Also turning 1,611 today.
He does look a day over 1,500.
I was about to say that as a year. Wow. Okay.
People live longer in the Bible.
Yeah. Is Greek mathematician and philosopher Proclus.
Dutch-Swiss mathematician and physicist Daniel Bernoulli. Not the Bernoulli Drive Bernoulli.
Yeah. Why not?
No, the Bernoulli effect. He was born today in 1700.
I love his pizza restaurants. English geographer, biologist, and explorer Henry Walter Bates was born 198 years ago today.
And Dmitry Mendeleev, Russian chemist and academic, was born the same date in 1834.
That's closer than I expected you to get, Craig. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
American physicist and lawyer, invented xerography. Chester Xerography. No, I'm kidding. Chester Carlson, born on this date in 1906.
Lana Turner, American actress, was born on this date in 1921.
Well,
I
who
believe it's
stepped in there?
Turner.
Turner. American actor James Dean was born 92 years ago today.
American pianist, composer, and conductor John Williams. Yes, that John Williams is 91. Oh, man,
Wow.
we ran out of music.
Oh, wow.
Roll it
Also
again.
turning 80 today is American scientist and inventor Valerie Thomas.
An American lawyer and author John Grissom was born on this date in 1955.
Also turning 66 today is French historian of mathematics. Wow, where did that go? And sinologist Karine Chemla. Chameleon.
Also born on the same date in 1964, Belizean American mathematician, physicist, and academic Arlie Peters.
Don't run into too many Belizean Americans.
No, but if you run into, Arlie, say we said hello.
How many zeros are in a Belizean?
13. I don't know. Gary Coleman, the American actor, was born 55 years ago today.
Who's going to say it? What
you
you
talking-
talking about, Willis?
I'm
bet-
not going to say it.
I was going to say, what you talking about, Chuck? Actually, I was surprised that, I mean, it's been about 10 years ago it passed away, I guess, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Just seems
Also
like,
born on that same date in 1974, American actor, voice artist, comedian, producer, and writer and director Seth Green. Oh, we still got to do the listener birthdays.
yeah.
All right. February 8th, Jan Scott from Yorkshire, UK. The 9th, podcast Mike Wills from Minnesota. We have a space issue in there.
Mm.
Zach Agulian on the 10th, as well as Drace, aka Sherry from North Dakota. Douglas E. Welch from Career Opportunities podcast on St. Valentine's Day on the 14th, as well as Andrew from Illinois. Happy birthday to all of you. If it's your birthday this week, we wish you all the best. If you want to be on the calendar so we can give you a shout out at the appropriate time of year, go over to
Oh,
chuckchat.com/birthday. Craig's going to
There.
put it on the screen. There it is. And we will give you a shout out when your name comes up, like we did all these wonderful people who've been doing this for the past, about 15 years?
you know what? Just to let you guys know, every one of these people on it's their birthday, I open my window in the morning, I yell out their name, close the window. My neighbors don't
It-
know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah, I was going to say the neighbors must love that.
Especially when it's like 40 below.
Here he goes again, Gladys.
yeah.
Don't know
Like
what he's up
Happy-
about.
Holy crap, it's cold out.
Like a freaking rooster. That's right.
All right. Thank you for
Oh.
all of that. Yes.
And by the way, Gary Coleman passed away in 2010. I was close, 13 years ago.
13 years. Okay. We have some news. So let's play our.
Say, good news, everyone.
Oh, I just said that for Fry's benefit.
Helps if I turn it up, but that's all right.
That's right.
So, scientists have discovered a weird new form of ice that may change how we think about water.
It's called slush.
And we
No.
often think about water. I'm thinking
Well, we
about it
do
now.
because it's so important to life on our planet. I'm drinking
Shall
some
have
now. Here's to you, water.
Yeah.
We'll pour one out for you. Wait, that's the
Some fine, high quality H2O.
I'm going to pass water.
Well, there's a state between like ice crystals. You know, when you normally see the snowflake, they
Mhm.
are six-sided,
Ooh, is it West Virginia? Oh no, that's
hexagonal
not.
pattern. No, not
Yeah.
that state of insanity. No, but they form that repeating crystalline pattern. Okay, that's because of the way that the water molecules are formed, and you've got temperatures and gravity and all this kind of stuff involved. What they did is they took a bucket of ice and they used some liquid nitrogen to keep it cold. And then
Uh-huh.
they took these steel balls and rolled them around and crushed and crushed and crushed and crushed and crushed until all of those hexagonal bonds were broken. It wasn't water, it was still ice. And they discovered a new medium. Now, they knew that there was this
Did they
state
call it
called
slushy?
close. They called it amorphous ice.
Oh, it was
And there was
icy.
High
Icy.
density and low density. And high density is 1.13 grams per cubic centimeter. Now, normally we grew up learning that water has a density of 1 gram per cubic centimeter at sea level, blah, blah, blah. Right?
That's what I was just thinking the same thing.
That's why the metric system is so easy to figure out. And we use this crazy English imperial system. Well, the high density amorphous ice is 1.13 grams per cubic centimeter. Ooh, it's denser.
Hmm.
And the low density is 0.94. So one is a bit above and one is a bit below that 1.0 mark. Now, we all know that water behaves oddly different than most other liquids. It has a higher boiling point. It expands when it turns into a solid rather than reduces like most other liquids when they turn into a solid.
Right.
You know, when you like watch wax and it kind of gets that cave in the middle, like not water, it gets a bulge. Like water is weird. But yeah, they discovered this new density, which is 1.06 grams per cubic centimeter. And they call it unimaginatively, since it fits between the high density and the low density. What do you think they would call it?
Medium density?
That's exactly right, because scientists have no imagination. You know, they should have called it like Salzman ice or something. You know,
They
just
need They need a marketing guy.
I'm kind of convinced that this was not an experiment. Like somebody just like to say, "Hey, what happened? Well, let's throw some of these balls in here when we're trying to make one of our, frozen margaritas." And
Right. Look at it under a microscope and wow, this
we
is
can write this off.
this is a medium density margarita.
Yeah. Send this one back.
I'm compensating with alcohol here. I'm not sure what the takeaway from all this is, except water is still as abundant as it is, as long as it's been around and we've known about it. We just haven't finished our studies on it. There's more to learn, kids.
So think about water.
We do. Okay. And I don't know if everybody's heard the news. Yeah, this is Technorama. We often have space news to cover.
Yeah.
Cape Canaveral, Florida, astronomers have announced they've discovered 12 new moons around Jupiter, putting the total
Wow.
count at a record-breaking 92, which surpasses Saturn's old lead of 83. So Saturn, let's get on your game.
Yeah,
Start
Yeah.
come
collecting
on, come on.
moons.
Gotta
Come on.
step
Look at-
up.
That's right.
Those rings don't count as moons. Okay.
They
They're
used
beautiful
to,
and
but
all.
not anymore. So
They're
Put a ring-
thinking that some of these are broken off pieces of other moons, so from collisions and whatnot. And interestingly enough, if it's less than 1 mile in diameter, you can't give it a name. So out of those 12, what was it?
What do you mean you can't?
No, they can't name. It's just like A rock.
B rock, C rock.
Only half of them, only 6 of them can actually be named.
and then the rock, but that's
They haven't named. Yeah, it's going to be like satellite 24267.
No, don't do that.
Yeah.
That's always sad. That's always sad.
Yeah, no personality. You've just become a catalog number at that point.
Was it just, were they just considered like trash hanging around?
Well,
Or is it
some of them
actually-
are like asteroids that have come in because Jupiter and Saturn, and Uranus and Neptune as well, have massive gravity. So when
Yep.
something comes by, it may get caught in the gravitational field and just becomes a moon.
I was trying for a slingshot. Nope. You're staying around. Nope.
Not so fast, whippersnapper. This is my
Hey.
neighborhood.
That's no moon.
It is now.
Craig, I don't understand what you're trying to tell us.
Oh. I'm sure you don't.
Every once in a while, Craig just randomly spouts out these words like we're supposed to know what he's talking about.
Liver pudding.
Peanut
That I
hamper.
understood.
Peanut hamper.
Peanut hamper. All right. This was another interesting one from this past week. Dungeons and Dragons, the owners of Dungeons and Dragons, Wizards of the Coast, decided it was time to change their not licensing. What do they call it?
That's exactly what they were doing.
They were changing and they said to protect against things like NFTs, so people wouldn't get caught. But while they were still drafting this up, not ready for public document, somebody leaked it, and then the whole industry goes up in an uproar. You can't change this. It's like, wait. We were going to open source this document as soon as we got a few more things settled on the
Are you
draft.
saying the internet overreacted to something?
I can't believe it. Right?
That's crazy
Wow.
talk. That's crazy talk.
Yeah. So the original game was under a copyright license from Open Game License, OGL. And they said, well, we're coming out with OGL 2.0. And everybody went, whoa. Who was this guy that was, it says, let me find the actual number in here.
Actual number of what?
It says,
They were coming out with.
something you need to understand about D&D is that no one plays by the rules, said Linda Codega, a reporter from IO9
Yeah.
by Gizmodo, who was the first to report on the leaks. Every single person at the table who plays D&D is a creator. They're using their imagination to create another kind of story and another way to use D&D. She added that this culture of creation can help explain why fans were so outraged that the draft introduced changes such as royalty payments of about 20 to 25% from creators making over $750,000. You may go, who the heck is making that kind of money in D&D?
I'm in the
there
wrong
are-
business.
There are people that are creating, this cloak of invisibility, for example, or a spell to, win the game, whatever. And they they license and sell those things. So,
Hmm.
Wizards of the Coast said, well, what if we were to get a piece of that action? And everybody went, bah, no. So at the end of the day, they went back and forth. On January 4th, Kodega reported that there was the draft of OGL 1.1. 9 days later, another draft was leaked, OGL 2.0. It removed the royalties, but the creators were still not happy. So Wizards broke down that same day. They broke their silence about the situation with a written apology, and they agreed to open a feedback process with the new draft to be released later on. 5 days later, an original draft was published named OGL 1.2. So they backed up from 2.0.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Wi-Fi. Which one's GNBL? I forget it. We'll just go to
Yeah.
6. This triggered a feedback process for creators and players to comment and share their opinion. In the end, basically they reverted and said, never mind. We're just going to stick with the OGL 1.0 for now.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, because a lot of people were canceling their subscriptions to stuff.
Well, yeah, they said, fine, we'll go play Pathfinder, which is an alternate one. And, there are people who have religious beliefs about each one. So,
yeah, see, something like this, there's a fine line here because, like you said, everybody's a creator. They're putting their input into it. So Wizards has the framework, all the basic rules and ideas for some of the fantastical spells and all kinds of stuff that you can do. But when you start messing with people, they will drop you, or move along.
I can
It's-
understand it, they were trying to act in the best interest. They weren't out to be malicious. They said,
Right.
hey, we see there could be issues with NFT. We want to kind of get a jump on that. So they're drafting things up, and then there was a leak. So,
Right. And if we're talking about, the range of, $750,000, it's not affecting.
a whole lot of people.
Yeah.
I want to know who's making 750,000.
Yeah. We're in the wrong business, Greg.
I know, right?
But they said, we're part of the same community. We want what's good for the community. It's just this kind of blew up in their face. So
Well, I'm also wondering, I was having a discussion today with Nathan about this thing. So we were both kind of in agreement that NFTs seem to be kind of like done. So this is like adding on top of everything else, this concept of the firestorm over something that's probably going to be irrelevant in, 2 or 3 years.
yeah,
Yeah. It's too early for the
going
NFTs.
to be an interesting next few years when it comes to NFTs and cryptocurrency. And based on what we've been seeing, to the winners go the spoils.
That's right.
To the top of
Anyway.
the pyramid. I mean, what? I didn't say anything. What?
Let's move on to our Hacks and Strange stories because Craig found us a winner of a story.
Oh, yeah.
So now, Craig, you're going to talk about this show a little bit later.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Clinton, do you have HBO Max?
I do not. And actually, this is another thing I was talking to Nathan about today, because we watched him play the game Last of Us,
Right.
Mhm.
and we were talking about it a bit, and I said, so have you seen it? He said, well, a lot of my friends say that it's good, but I haven't really felt compelled because I played the game and I kind of enjoyed the game. I didn't really feel necessary to seek out and watch the television show.
Well, I'll tell you, and like I said, I'm skipping ahead a little bit. The reason I watched it, I started watching. There's only like 3 episodes out right now, because it's a weekly release show. Everybody was talking about this episode with Nick Offerman and how great it was. He's going to win an Emmy. I'm like, well, last night I found myself sitting in front of the TV wondering what to watch. I went, all right, somebody online told me it's kind of a bottle episode, so it's not a big deal if you watch it out of turn. I was like, all right, I'm gonna skip ahead and watch it. Now I did. I watched it. It was a great episode. It was great. And then I went ahead and started watching 1 and 2. And it's kind of a zombie movie or show
Yeah.
rather.
Yeah.
But they kind of tell you up front what's happening. And when they explain it, in The Walking Dead, I'm not even sure if they ever found out what the reason was for the outbreak. But and part of that outbreak is the the Pedro Pascal was explaining, well, everybody was eating these products that had like had flour. I don't think I'm trying to remember if he said sugar.
It was some mold
some-
spores or something in the
Yeah, in that, and it was a product that went everywhere, and then all of a sudden everybody was infected. In a short amount of time, like over a weekend, and everything fell apart. So
in the wheat again. That's what happened Moses' time.
right, and this was a fungus that spread, and then of course the story says, "Hey, there's a real life fungus spreading in the U.S." I was like, "Uh oh."
Well, they didn't say it's a fungus. They just said fungal infections. They're capitalizing on the popularity
yeah.
show
Right.
in this article.
Sure, yeah,
They're saying
You think it's
fungal
clickbait?
infections. They said the research showed that in 2021, at least 7,000 people died in the United States of fungal infection, which is much worse than hundreds getting infected in 1970. Now, granted, there's a lot more people in the world than there were in 1970, almost
Right.
to the tune of what, like 2x the world population, if not more.
right, yep,
But still, going from hundreds to 7,000 means something's going on. They said it could be one possibility is that global warming is making the fungus more resistant to heat and temperature. So the human body makes a really good host. So
Mhm.
it's a lot of speculation in here, but I think they're just sensationalizing on the show. Going,
Yeah, a little
"Hey,
bit.
We've got some research that shows."
yeah. Well, I did think that the concept was interesting because I've seen those ants. I've seen a video of those ants that get the fungal
Yeah.
infection,
Yep.
and they become zombified,
Yep.
where they're not doing their own bidding; they're doing the will of the fungus or whatever is moving them around. So, anyway, I thought that was an interesting concept for the show, as well as, or I guess the game as well. But I just thought that was an interesting story.
This isn't the first storyline to be based off the ants and the fungus either. So
No,
it's this almost sounds more like what I thought. What was the show that took place on? Was it Antarctica? With the black disease. Oh, I'll remember it later. I can't remember. It was a sci-fi show.
yeah, I don't remember the name of it either. Clinton.
I probably didn't see it. If
Okay.
it's a horror, I probably didn't see it anyway. So
I watch it. I want to say it started with an H. Now I can't remember what it's called. But it was like good first season, lame second season, and I couldn't watch it anymore after that.
Yeah.
I really, really wanted that show to take off, but it just didn't. It moved way too slowly. Anyway, yeah. So stay away from your fungus. Don't eat moldy cheese. Don't turn into a zombie ant.
words to live by.
Should we give a shout out to the chat room? Oh wait, we had 2 people and we invited one to the show.
I know, right? That's right.
Wow.
There's 3 watching right now, so I'm not sure where that went. But you can join us live Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern time on YouTube, on Facebook. We do this show. We're going to update our show notes. They still say 9:30, but Craig updated the title below. So we will be here again Sunday nights. Join us. Join in the chat. We've got Mike Robinson is the only person I see, but there's a couple more out there viewing. Thank you very much to everybody who's joined us, and we invite you again.
Hey, the show is Helix.
Helix. I knew it started with an H. Thank you.
Yeah, I just happened to do the right search terms.
Started out good.
Oh, Steven's out there. Steven Wetchy.
Yay, Steven.
He's used to listening to the podcast at 1.2.
1.2. Okay,
Is it-
that's probably because I talk at 2.0 normally anyway, so you're getting like 2.4 out of this.
That's right.
Okay, on to the Remember When. We have some wonderful pictures. We're going to share these on the screen, I think. What do you think, Craig?
Yes, let's do it. Oh my gosh.
Retro computers. Let me do a screen share. I apologize for the people that are listening, but we'll do our best to describe. What can we share? What can we share? Let's share.
I love these
Diners Gone Wild here.
these kind of old concepts where they
Yeah.
like, this computer looks like it was based on ET.
Or a telephone. I'm not sure. It's the Hallborn 9100 from 1981
Yeah.
with a Z80 processor. I'm not sure why there's a stack of 3.5-inch floppies next to it because those didn't come along for a few years. They maybe belong to the AT&T Unix
Or the-
computer next
or
to it.
Or the future
Right.
owner of that machine.
Because they've got the little file for the next
Right.
machine.
We also have the IASIS, the IASIS 7301 from 1976. It's not the computer came with an instruction manual. The computer was in the instruction manual.
Tucked
It's
in
a
the
3-ring binder that has this little. Now, computers from 1976, you typed in the opcodes and to get your program running. With the 264-page computer, a whopping 1K of ROM and 1K of RAM. And you
So you
typed
couldn't
in.
even put the instruction manual on the machine if you wanted to.
Oh, heavens no. You could maybe add 2 numbers or do a dancing cursor or something if you were really creative. Next up is the Seiko UC 2000 from 1984. And what you see on the top middle is, yes, it's a watch. You can integrate this is before the days of smartwatches.
doesn't say. You got
Well, there was
smartwatch?
kind of a smartwatch. The Seiko watches, I remember having some Seiko watches. They could do a fair amount of things. You'd have a
You could.
calculator in there and stuff. And yeah.
But this particular one, you could interface, you could hook up to this docking station, as it were. And it had a printer and a keyboard.
A
Not even
QWERTY
Windows.
keyboard, by the way.
Yeah. With a grid layout. That's
Yeah,
helpful.
makes a lot of sense if you're a typist.
But you could turn it into a computer. Next is the Packard Bell, I'm going to put this in quotes, air quotes, corner computer.
I've seen pictures of this one, and out of context because it wasn't in a corner and it just was such an odd design. At least it makes sense now.
It really wasn't. It was about the same size as their standard case PC, only they took a chunk out of the front and imagine if you put your computer into a corner.
Nobody puts my computer in a corner.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
I
And
don't
then
think
you
it's
move the CD-ROM off to the left side and off to the right side, and the floppy drive off to the left. It's like you're inserting things at weird angles. It didn't save any space because all the cords basically came out of the back right side. So you still had a whole bunch of wall space to provide for it.
I mean, it's not a crazy concept. I don't, but yeah, it's not perfect either.
It did not go over well. I like the Compaq Presario 3020 from 1995, which looks like it had a transporter accident.
Yeah, world's worst laptop.
Yeah.
Is it a laptop? Is it a
No,
desktop?
it's not. It looks like it's both and neither.
So imagine taking a regular slimline desktop case, gluing that to a not slimline desktop case, and stacking them vertically.
Mhm.
Now, at an odd angle, you put on a 15-inch, maybe 13-inch, I don't know, flat screen at a obscure angle too. So it's sort of angled towards your eyes. Everything is just at this weird angle, as if it's all going to tip over at some point.
And I can't tell that it's also on top of like a very round base, and it looks like there's buttons down there below where the monitor is. I can't imagine what all
Would
that stuff
Just
is.
to the screen contrast or
don't
something? I don't
know.
know. Because you'd normally have buttons like that on your monitor.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that was fun. Then there's the Intel Ottoman. Which
There's no empire built on this machine. I'm telling you that right now.
no, you could use it as a footstool, I think. It's round, has a flip up lid, and in the lid is your screen. And then on the base of this would be the keyboard and God knows what else. I think there's a floppy drive
Well,
just
you
in
have to
front of the
kind of
keyboard.
sit on the floor to use it.
Or do you put it on your lap? Or do you put it on a desk? I don't know how you would use it. Maybe.
In a day and age where we have Chromecast and stuff, it'd be cool to have a PC and an ottoman like that. You could just have it in the
if you-
living room.
If you could, sit on it instead of butt dialing, would you be butt computing? I don't know what. Very
Yeah.
confusing.
This one's just really okay. That we get into more strange shapes. The main gear Prisma from 2006 comes in yellow, red, and blue. Hey, Star Trek colors. What do you
Yeah.
know? This is a pyramid-shaped computer with the keyboard out front. I don't even know where the screen is on this thing.
I don't
You know
know. But laugh, but you will. But man, it kept my razor blades really sharp.
That's right.
Or maybe it had killer sound. I don't know what the
You know what-
attraction of this was.
It looks like somebody was trying to come up with an answer to Apple's little Macs.
Cube,
Yeah, no, the round, the
the moonstick rectangle one.
yeah, no, the The iMacs, the ones that were
Yeah, the
like a
all-in-one, right?
all in one.
Yeah.
The G3, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. They were trying to just make a pyramid, you know.
And
Well,
they make reference to it being like in the little blurb below, like the Luxor Hotel, because it has a glowing part at the top of it.
Oh, very nice. Yeah. You can see from the space shuttle.
Turn that thing down.
Right.
All right. From 2009, when you think of Lenovo ThinkPads, you generally think, yeah, that's pretty mainstream. Oh,
Sure.
they had their winners as well. The ultra wide keyboard with a numeric keypad next to it, and apparently they not only had a trackpad, because the ThinkPads, even before they were Lenovo, when they were IBMs, they had both the track point, the eraser thing between the G and the H keys.
Yep.
And you had a touchpad with the buttons. You could use either or both if you're really sadistic. But they also had like a pen tablet piece just off to the right of your trackpad. I'm not sure what the point was, but this and I noticed
For
if you look
handwriting,
closely-
I'm guessing for handwriting input, because they've got a like a stylus that looks like it's a
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
use there.
and the screen had like a daughter screen off to the right, almost like you stuck an iPad on the side of this thing.
Take that, foldables.
Well, it's funny. Was it CES? I can't remember where it was at. I saw a new laptop from I think it was Lenovo, and it was like a screen on the bottom and a screen on the top, just like
Yeah.
instead of the keyboard, there's a screen.
Yep.
And it had a little foldable origami kind of thing. You fold it, and you can stand up both monitors up and use a Bluetooth keyboard, which it had. It was separate. It looked really cool, but very odd, because
Right.
you fold it to the two screens, but you had that keyboard. I thought it was pretty cool. So, kudos to them for trying something different, I guess.
And you can fold it into a swan if you really want to.
Yeah, that's right.
Origami computing. Go on to another one. This is an embedded video where the lady goes through several other computers, including the Mac G3. At the end, she says, now, even though that's the most recent of them in 1998, it ran a version of OS 10, which gave you some idea of how long you could actually run a G3. The little hockey puck mouse was a little off, but she had some other
Yeah.
ones, like one of the first compact
Yeah,
portables.
either that's is that an Osborne or is that a compact, the one that's got the little logo on it? I can't.
I forget which one. I think that is a compact.
I'll say it looks familiar, like a compact.
Yeah. And it was, about 4 or 5 inches thick. The battery ran for 3 hours. She talked
Yeah.
about the original Mac with 128K. So this was a fun video to go through, about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and my friend Fred, we both worked at Sears Business Center. I know you worked at a
Computerland.
Computerland. And so Sears had IBM and compacts they were selling.
Mhm.
And so I remember was the compact portable too?
The
It looked like
luggable too.
it's like a big it looked like a
Sewing machine.
suitcase.
It was larger than a sewing machine.
Yeah, it looked like you're carrying a suitcase. It was ridiculous. And the keyboard to fold out. I mean, I liked the design, but man, it was heavy. And
Open
then-
that up in Coach Class Airlines. I'm just gonna do some computing here.
Well,
I remember-
the portable 3 was better, but it wasn't.
Yeah. That was
still heavy.
smaller. That was more like
Yeah, with
bread
a
box size. I
with a
wouldn't call it
monochrome
lunch
screen
box.
on it. Yeah, it had
Yeah. This was
What-
like one of those kind of models, but this had a
Mhm.
flip up screen, whereas the portable 3 sort of slid up the side of the
Yeah.
lunchbox and then out.
which was cool. What were you gonna say, Clinton?
I just remember when I was working in advertising, I did an ad for like one of the first color laptops. Like that was a big deal. Ooh,
Yeah.
show stuff in color on the
Oh
screen.
yeah, that's right.
Or the gas plasma displays.
That's what was on the.
It was
That's
steam
what was-
powered,
That was
actually.
what was on the portable 3. We used
Yeah.
that for one of our math competition or computing competitions. We had like a weekend, kind of like a hackathon for mathematicians and programmers. They said, "Here's your problem. You've got all week to solve it." So the three of us, I borrowed one of the portable 3s, or maybe it was it was a Toshiba. It was a Toshiba with the gas plasma display. This bright orange display. We had to find out, given this square footage of space, how many parking spots could you get in there
I thought
and
you
to
were gonna-
maximize parking?
I thought you were going to say you wrote a dating app and you had to dial in to look at the
No.
people and click the right arrow or the left arrow to pick Tinder, like Tinder.
The precursor to
You had
Tinder.
to dial into Tinder.
We have a message from Steve Weshy who says,
Oh, yeah.
I have one of these in my basement. I saved it from the recycling pile at work. We never deployed it, and nicknamed it the $2,000 doorstop.
Ooh, when he gets all
Acer
like-
Icona.
Ooh.
I can't pull. There we go. I was trying to pull up the link. I can't pull it up from in there. The Acer Iconia 6120. Let's see. Acer Iconia. What was it? Six what?
6120.
20.
Oh, I got it right here. Okay.
That's actually a decent looking laptop.
Oh, what's it got? 2 screens also on it?
Looks kind of like it. Here, I'll show you I'll do my screen share again here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one screen on the keyboard it says.
Oops, that's not her. Wrong tab.
Yeah, it's
I
a
was
2
in the
screen
sharing
laptop.
aid tab.
That's cool.
Oh. There. Present. Share screen.
Yeah, I certainly play with one of those. That looks pretty cool.
There.
Running Windows 8. Yeah, see that? Yeah, that's
Oh,
pretty cool.
Ooh, look, the graphic they put on there makes it look like the screen is shattered.
Yeah.
or it's like, look, I've got a monitor and a mirror.
Yeah, that's right.
It works as a teleprompter
This
too.
is a prototype.
2 screen laptop. One is the keyboard. Oh, fascinating.
That's cool.
Okay, let's give a quick shout out to our, since Stephen is here, to our patrons. So thank you, everybody. You did an amazing job with the January funding for this podcast. We were able to pay all our bills once again. For
that's a
audio
plus.
production. Yeah. Hence, we can keep doing this live stream as well.
What's the Technorama credit score look like? This is
I
repeating
don't know.
our
We
bills.
do have a credit card, oddly enough.
What? Oh, whoa.
Yeah, that's how we pay Alphonic
Oh,
and,
I see.
and StreamYard and everybody else. So we don't have to hook them up to our. Anyway, not enough of the behind the scenes stuff. Thank you to you, Alexis Duran, Ember Elstad, Amy Bowen, Abner Braverman, Ben Vaughn, Brian Brown, Chris Martinez. Thank you, Chris MC, Dan DeMancoyer, Dean Jensen. Thank you, Denise Inglis, Gary Lindros, John Clifford, John Noble,
That John Noble?
our John Noble. Thank you.
Okay, yeah.
Wait for it. Yorga Shrawan, Crazy Joe Adventures, Kyle Nishioka, Leon, Mark Kilfoyle, Brad Miller, Mike Wills. Boop. There's a blank space in there,
Yeah.
which, you know,
I thought you went offline for a second.
Comedy Forecast would fit nicely in that box.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that.
Saturday Morning Media. Come on, you got peers that are other podcasters that are giving you this sad podcast.
That's right.
Stephen Weshy, he's online. Give him some applause.
Yay.
Steve Therian, Steve Cody, Steve London, and Tim Cook. Thank you, everybody. You can go to link, Craig. You can go to patreon.com/Technorama podcast. He's got it. There it is. For as little as $1 a show, your support. If we entertain you, if we educate you, if we mildly tickle your funny bone, consider it. Or if you're already a member, several people have considered upgrading. Hey, that 2022 t-shirt was rocking, and we're already throwing around ideas for 2023. So you could have a collector's item, not like a junk collector, but a real collector's item, the Technorama podcast. Thank you, everybody, once again. All right, out with the Imperial Rock Band. Okay, you can put the banner away, Craig,
I am putting it away right now. There
because
it
it's time for... I see Clinton changed his
No,
title.
I've been. You need to go back and watch the show. I've been changing all night.
Chief Noodle Taster, Chief Pajama Folder, and
Mm.
Flufferer, Director of Duck Whispering.
That one quacks me up. I
I think the
Right.
we've discovered and I use this term lightly, the intelligence behind ChatGPT.
Hey, actually, you know what?
They're trying to game the system.
Actually, I did use ChatGPT. I said, "Give me a random job title," and then it gave me environmental scientist. I went, "Make it goofy, chief banana peel inspector."
Billy Joel uses stuff like all that. You know, what's a real estate novelist? I never did figure that out.
Yeah.
Well, see, he's a real estate by day, but he's a would-be novelist by night. That's the point, is that he's not really, he wants to be a novelist, but he's really not one.
I thought he was writing books about. It was a dark and stormy night.
here you go.
There was a house for sale for 120K.
It says it implies that that the real estate agent secretly wishes to be published author rather than sell houses for a living.
What did I say?
That's exactly what you said.
Amazing. Okay, now is the time of the show where we share with you some of the things we've been watching: TVs, movies, maybe even books. We get those rarely. I am still going through the audiobook that Kyle sent me for Christmas, so I will give you a rundown of that when it's
Yes,
done.
I just started that myself.
Aha. So I watched one last night called The Dirt on Netflix. It
Okay.
is, I told you, I'm caught up with some of these
Hey,
music.
they're scraping the bottom of the barrel for these
Yeah.
documentaries. Oh, let's
Music
just do one about dirt.
Just
Well-
a picture of dirt.
It's the story of Motley Crue.
Okay, you're right. Yes.
And it's I suspect it's pretty real to life because the producers, the band members, Vince Neil, Nikki Sixx, Tommy, I want to say Tommy Shaw, but that sticks.
No, not him.
Oh, what?
No.
Tommy Lee, that's it. And Mick Mars, the band members, they're telling their stories, and it starts out as Nikki Sixx's story, and then partway through they go, well, I believe it was Tommy jumps in and starts saying, well, that's not the way I remember this part. So they kind of break this fourth wall every once in a while.
Oh yeah.
It is very explicit, shall we say? Lots of nudie shots.
Oh.
Because they're showing how ruckus they were.
I'll be back in a minute. I'm gonna go watch it.
It does have some touching moments. They talk about, obviously Vince Neil's car crash and Nikki almost dying from a drug overdose, but their turnaround and how they came back and toured for like another 20 years. So they eventually reconciled with each other and to some extent their families as well. So it was a fun watch. I think it was like 7 out of 10 on IMDb, and I'd probably rate it about the same. So The Dirt on Netflix. They had some good music. The guy who plays Vince Neil is also the guy who plays Lee Harvey Oswald on 11/22/63. So I couldn't get that image out of my mind.
Oh yeah.
The guy who plays Mick Mars is from Game of Thrones. And I'm like, oh, okay. So the other actors, I know I recognize them, but I went through their IMDb profiles going, where have I seen it? Don't recognize any of that. So it's like, you're going to see some familiar faces. The guy who plays Tommy Lee has sort of this Keanu Reeves, Bill and Ted's vibe about him too.
Yeah.
So it's a fun watch. I mean, they are going through the 80s. What do you got, Craig?
I thought I had something else, but I can't remember. But anyway, I already talked about it a little bit earlier in the show, The Last of Us.
Yep.
I think it's a well done show from what I've seen so far. It's only 3 episodes. I skipped ahead, watched Nick Offerman. Watched his. I like Nick Offerman. So when everybody kept saying how great this was, oh my gosh, Emmy, blah blah blah. I was like, I'll go ahead and watch it. So I jumped in episode number 3.
Yeah, it's definitely not a like he was on The Office, though. It's completely different type of
No, it's
Right.
it's a definite departure from what you would think he would be playing.
The only other thing that I know about the series is, I guess, so it starts off in Boston, which is the same way that the video game starts off.
Yep.
And then everyone was talking about the fact there's a scene in first couple of minutes of it where they've left Boston and they're 10 miles north of Boston.
Yeah.
And they're in this huge chasm with mountains and stuff. There is no place like that, I assure you.
And is that not where you were hiking it today?
No. And it turns out that that's someplace in Calgary. It's nothing at all.
Oh, yeah.
You
Right.
could, if the earth cracked open, maybe I suppose. And then, but no.
Yeah. Yeah. I've read the same thing. And of course, when it starts up as 10 miles just north of Boston, I went, yeah, okay. I don't think so.
Just like the Cetacean Institute in Sausalito, Monterey Bay
Mhm.
Aquarium.
Yeah. So anyway, it looks like it's going to be a good show. I like it so far. Pedro Pascal is pretty good from what I've seen. So he's like
Cool.
all over the place nowadays.
And you get to see his face in this one as opposed to the
Yeah.
Mandalorian.
No, he's got a shirt over his head.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. I was wrong.
Right.
Wearing one of those hoodies that zips up and it's the face of the Mandalorian.
Yeah. Right. So anyway, it looks like it's going to be worth it. I was kind of putting it off watching any of it because I was like, I kind of got burned out on the zombie stuff with Walking Dead, and I wasn't really interested in going back to another apocalyptic. Here's what our future is going to look like, which actually is interesting because it does takes place starting in 2003. Is when the whole thing started to turn south. So anyway,
We missed it. Darn.
yeah,
I was
we missed it.
busy that weekend.
We skipped over it. So anyway, there you go. Last of Us.
We're in the alternate timeline where it hit in 2020 called COVID-19.
Yeah, that's right.
Choose your poison. All right, back on the music documentary. I also watched Ella Fitzgerald, just one of those things. Great story about the woman. Some of these artists that you know their music, you know their reputation, but you don't know the full story. This really goes in well. How she got her start, her relationship with her manager, her relationship with other musicians, right up to the point where she died at age 79. I did not know that towards the end she had both her legs amputated due to diabetes. Whoa.
Yeah, I don't remember anything about that. So
I
yeah.
don't either. I remember seeing her on what was it, the Memorex commercial? Is it
Yes.
Slaughter, where she was shattering the glass with her voice, or there were some interesting points. Her Live from Berlin album I thought was just enjoyable because she was doing a version of Mac the Knife and she forgot the words. She didn't know the words well enough to do the entire song. And she gets to one point, what are the words to this song? But she was doing it in such her free-flowing style that nobody really cared. It's a winner. I'll tell you it's a hit. Doo doo bop doo doo. It was so entertaining just the way that she pulled that nonsensical BS verses off. And that album went up to sell 1 million copies. But she was just a wonderful, wonderful person. I invite you to go watch if you're interested in any of the music. I mentioned I watched Quincy Jones recently. The Dirt doesn't quite fall into the same category, but the other one that I watched is called Remastered: The Two Killings of Sam Cooke. Now, Sam Cooke, we know his music as well.
Yep.
What you may not know is that was sort of his not a facade, but that was like his commercial presence. When he would go back and play like the Apollo, he really got like more black, if you want to forget that about it. He delivered same song, way different style of that song. Plus, he was also starting to become a political activist. He said, look, I've been given these blessings. I want to do something to improve the situation with the civil rights movement coming on. He started hanging around with Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X. And of course, Hoover thought, well, we gotta watch out for these people who could be a danger to society or whatever. And you listen to some of the things that Malcolm X said, and it's like he was so far ahead of his time. We just want to be, we are people. We are human beings with lives of our own, etc.
Right.
And it was, and then he died under mysterious circumstances. Like he's found in this hotel. Sam Cooke had a really weird ending, and it was called The Two Killings of Sam Cooke because not only they took his life, but they also like took his reputation. And it was a really sad ending, but very good documentary about him.
Right.
Again, they talked to a lot of the people. I was his manager. A lot of these people were still alive. I think this is from 2018, 2019. So it was fun seeing some of these people that interacted with him, that were part of his life. The Ella Fitzgerald one, I forgot. They walk this lady into the Apollo Theater.
Mhm.
She's 100 years old. She was at I forget if it was her amateur hour, Ella's amateur hour opening in, what was it, 1934 or something.
Right.
She goes, I booed at Ella Fitzgerald because she was bad. Like,
Oh no.
it's like, wow.
Oh, that's funny.
That was like this cute little old
Well, she
lady
got better, you know.
Yeah.
clearly got better. Yeah, but it was fun seeing, these people that were there. It makes it feel like this wasn't that long ago,
Right.
because you're talking to people who had personal relationships. It was kind of like Quincy Jones when he was talking about, blah 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 about Marvin Gaye and da 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 Michael Jackson and Dizzy Gillespie and Duke Ellington. Like, wow, you feel like Duke Ellington was 100 years ago, and in some respects it was. He was 20s, 30s, 40s into the 50s. But now you have this touchstone directly to those. So I that's kind of why I'm enjoying these music documentaries as well. That's the end of the Pass Me the
Wait,
Remote section.
Wait.
Yeah.
Clinton,
what?
what are you watching?
That's what I was going to ask.
Well,
Oh.
these days when I just sit around and watch TV for a couple of minutes, I try to find something that I go, I don't know why I'm watching this, but I think I'm going to just have fun or you just puzzle over it. And what I'm watching currently, it's on Amazon Prime.
Mhm.
It's a series called Dangerous Assignment. And I don't think I ever saw it in reruns when I was a kid, but it actually started out as a radio program from 1949 to 1953. And it was about this agent from an undisclosed agency that out of Washington, D.C. And his agent's name was Steve Mitchell. And he would travel around the world to find spies or to solve some political intrigue. And after the radio series was actually the television series, I believe, started while the radio series was still going. So they took the same actor, they took the same director, they took the same person who was writing, and they turned it into a television show. And the television show is what I've been watching. The television show is this, it's very odd. It's odd because it's clearly low production values. They go to different hotel rooms in different episodes. You can say, oh, it's the same hotel room because there's the window, there's the closet. If they go to a bar, that's the same bar because behind that door, which is sometimes closed, is a set of stairs that they always use. And this is the entrance over here. And then the way they filmed it, it seems as if you were an actor who came in to do a role, they had you do 2 episodes back to back, and they showed them back to back. So, for instance, they had Michael Ansara on an episode playing someone from a Eastern European country, and then the next episode he's playing someone in Saudi Arabia being some sort of sheik.
Oh.
Same actor the very next week.
Right.
He's still got like some of the Native American Indian war paint on him from the previous episode.
And we last night Bonnie and I were listening to a couple of the radio shows, and the radio shows seem to have a faster pace than the television show, and we're trying to figure out why, because they're both half-hour shows. Matter of fact, the radio show was 29 minutes, like 45 seconds. It was almost a full half hour, which I thought was odd because there was no commercial in the middle of it. It was all show. The television show is 2 minutes shorter, and yet it feels longer because there are scenes where people are just walking back and forth, or if somebody goes to get something, you just look at them go to get it and then come back again.
Right.
So I'm just fascinated by this show. There's 40 episodes of this show, and I'm about
Wow.
3/4 of the way through it. It's bizarre. It's just bizarre.
Well, you reminded me that a lot of this past week I've spent. I sit down and I go, I need something that I don't really need to pay attention to, but I want to enjoy.
That's
Paramount Plus has a live section on
Mhm.
their selection, so I'll go to the Star Trek swim lane, if you want to call it. It's not really a channel, but and random episode of Picard, and they'll play 3 or 4 of those, and they'll jump to Discovery and play 3 or 4 of those, and so you can get, it's like, okay, there's my Star Trek fix, but I've also been watching Twilight Zone.
Mhm.
Always good for a quick fix. Like, oh, I remember this one, Burgess Meredith,
Yeah.
books, breaks his glasses. There's
absolutely.
some that I'm like, why don't this one's not ringing a bell? I swear I've watched all of them from all 5 seasons, but it's fun to just kind of go catch up and almost as background noise while I'm doing something on the computer. So
Well,
yeah, Paramount Plus has a you
Yeah.
can't pause it. So,
Right.
and there's no commercials. Well, at least not on my version.
Mhm.
So I think what they're doing there is I think they're taking select from Pluto,
Yeah.
because they operate
Oh.
Pluto, and Pluto has 2 Star Trek channels, one that shows Next Generation and one that shows original Trek and
Deep Space Nine.
Deep Space Nine on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this one they mix it up pretty good. I've seen TNG, I've seen Picard,
Yeah.
I've seen Discovery.
I like
Just as you
Pluto.
get going, it's like, wait, I want to keep watching.
Yeah.
Nope, they switch
know.
genres. Like,
That's
dang.
why I like Pluto TV, which CBS, Paramount, they do own Pluto TV, but I like that because it's got not just Star Trek, but other stuff too, like Johnny Carson, Carol Burnett. That's what I was trying to think of, and a Love Boat, and all kinds of Three's Company. They they got a bunch of all those old shows, and you can just drop in and watch it for a little bit.
That sounds like
I
me
like
TV
it.
in a way.
Yeah, I like it. You don't have to make much decision. Just drop in Star Trek when you get something different.
And
like
I
you're
think
just talking about.
I think they're also the ones that have both a Mystery Science Theater channel and a Riff Tracks channel.
Oh
Yeah.
my, okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go check that out.
I was just I watched a little bit of Futurama the other night, and when they go to it's one of the episodes where they go to the movie theater, and you see Crow and everybody over there say, "Hey, hold it down! Y'all talk too much." I don't remember seeing that before.
I don't either.
That's funny.
That's funny. I thought you were gonna say like Bender becomes one of the bots that starts talking
really.
along.
Yeah, he could.
I found my people.
Yes, right.
Alrighty, let's end with our question of the week for this week coming up. If you could go back in time and witness a historic, I think it's an historic event if you're reading it, which would you choose? Which
Hmm.
event would you
Hey.
choose to witness?
I did post this to Chat GPT, and it said, "As a language model AI, I don't
Oh,
have
for
personal experience."
crying out loud! Is that a disclaimer every time?
No, the other one was a little different.
No, it started out the same way as a language model AI.
It said it didn't have emotions on the other one. This one says physically can't travel through time. But if I were to choose a historic event to witness, it would be likely to be the signing of the Declaration of Independence in 1776, but marked the birth of the United States of America and the formal declaration of independence from Great Britain. It is considered a significant turning point in world history and had far-reaching impacts on politics, society, and concept of nationhood. So
And get a selfie.
get it. So yeah, but they're
Hey, don't
sounding it.
ring
You
that
go,
bell so much. You're gonna crack it. Come on. Stop it.
Thomas, stand over here with me.
yeah.
Get in the picture, Ben.
What is this magic rectangle you have in your hand?
Portal.
Yeah.
You're gonna love lightning. Trust me.
Right. Yeah, trust me.
All right, that takes us to the end of the show. Thank you very much once again for our patrons. We appreciate. Get in touch with us. Get in touch with us. There we go. Craig put up that contact info for them.
I am
to
doing
let
it
the
now.
Viewers know. You can get in touch with us on the listener line at 707-530-2428. Or, you can text us, call us. It all works. It still works. Email us like Mad Marv did, technorama@chuckchat.com. We both get that message, Craig and me, and we can read it on the air. If you don't want it read on the air, please let us know. Otherwise, we probably will, because we're short on feedback and we want to make a more interesting show. Okay, that was a little too honest.
Yeah, right. You
You
gotta
can
change our
find us-
titles one more time.
Visit our website, find all the old shows. If you want to start listening from episode 1, if it's still out there, chuckchat.com/technorama. Put that on your bucket list.
Yeah. I watched all 26 seasons of Technorama.
Till next time. It was a binary
got
high
notes.
five, Craig.
101.
Thanks, Clinton. Oh, hey, you know what? Clinton, let them know where they can find you.
Oh, Comedy Forecast, all one word with the number 4.com.
There. And we're stopped.
There you go.
Should have done that like a good podcast host. Share your guests'
Hey.
information.
Yeah, y'all might have to go back and scan. I've been changing your titles all during the show.
Oh, they all say 101.
Oh, now
Hey, I didn't sign up for this.
I see. I had Master Muffin Munching, Chief Kite Flying Coordinator. Grand Poobah Puzzle Piece Placement.
Well, that one might not fit. Who knows?
Good alliteration.
It did. It did. I think Clinton was a professional jelly bean sorter.
Chuck's
proud
laugh
of
at
it.
1.2 is quite comical. Yep. 2.0 is even better. All right, we're going to stop the live stream and go record our Patreon audio. So thank you, everybody, for joining us, whether you're watching live or later. Take care. Stay safe. We'll talk to you real soon.
See you later.
Bye-bye.